spots him.
Yeah, that's confidence. Rendezvous placed up. Get out of jail for free card, and now being helped out by the rest of his team. Straight shots being sent straight through the wall, hoping for an easy kill. Tackle almost going down, has to back away for a heal.
Remember, Noswa was unbelievably good last time LEVIATAN played on this map. One of the big reasons why they were able to pull through. And they're going for a wraparound through mid. Nags has heard all of this. Yeah. I mean, Nags has heard them rotate off of A and through up to B male with his lurk position deep in mid. And KRU, we've seen them go for this kind of pathing before where they take A heaven control and then pressure into B.
Oh, and King could be in trouble. One snake bite to his name, has to back out. Just hopping around, and he does escape.
They didn't leave anybody posted up in A heaven. So while they go back here, they've got to be a little diligent, worried that Taco could be pushed forwards. They still haven't forced out Taco's dash. But the confidence from KRU in these kind of moments, they don't spend much time wondering. They just go.
To the final 30 seconds. Hit's got to start coming through now towards the back of it. Shy, flash over the top. Does connect, but Klaus, what an answer back. Damage being done. Taco, he's low though. And it's running and gunning. That'll finish him off. Two-player advantage. Spike will be going down. It's in a safe position, but the post plan isn't too ideal still. Massive player advantage, but everybody grouped up towards the side, and Noswa trying to take matters into his own hands. Risks were necessary, really, to try and turn the fate of this round, and it doesn't go his way.
A 2v5 that looks completely unwinnable here with Nags having his position up towards heaven. But Mazzino and King are going to do what they can.
Needs a freebie here with Melter being low enough snake bite. There's Kesner going down, but yeah, they all topple just like that. The player advantage being a little bit too much there. So KRU running away with that one. Pistol round under their belt. Great way to begin.
And I feel like a lot of people have in their heads that KRU are going on this run because the form of the players is absurd. And while that has truth to it, Kesnit has been on a monster run, and players like Klaus, Davies have turned things around enormously. But when I watch KRU move around the map, they are so different to how they played during that regular season.
Oh yeah.
They're so mobile. They're willing to pressure different areas and return back and cut timings, play with different tempos. Even in that pistol round, you know, they're wondering if they could call an audible and rush through to B, or whether they should end A, and they're very fluid with it. A lot of credit got to be given to Melter, who used to be a player on LEVIATAN and is now calling to try and take his team to champions over the top of his former roster.
What a storyline that would be. This one should just be slam dunk, round win. Spike going down, have to push it back. It's not planted for main, it is close to default, but at this point, Lev, the discipline they show, most likely just going to be going down to the spike, looking to see if they can get any exits, do that economical damage. But you know, you say it's not all form when you talk about these teams, Josh, and they have had these good ideas, that nuance that we're seeing almost. You're saying that, you know, playing very fluid. You think of the KRU in a regular season, very much brute force being the name of the game sometimes. A lot of 5 players grouping up.
Absolutely, very little nuance to it. And I think they needed a little bit of time with their new coach, Adam, to be able to come in and help them figure out the ways that they wanted to approach these maps.
Yeah.
There was a lot of talk about how close they were at being able to secure wins during the regular season, but close really doesn't do anything. 0-9 this squad, and yet now poised as arguably very slim favorites in this final. But as the Des was talking about, I really do feel like this is anybody's game up for grabs by either of these squads.
Oh yeah.
And we're going to see our first clash of the rifles in this round, where it is KRU's bonus, but they've got 2 Phantoms, 2 Vandals, and a Bulldog coming in here. So, essentially just our first gun round.
Yeah, the money is flourishing. From the prior round, set themselves up here. Focus being laid down towards mid. Taco. ES'd up. Slight off angle. Misses the shot though. Has to activate the dash. Takes another attempt of it. Get out of there.
And as to what Sean was talking about on the desk earlier, notice how the flash from Shy does connect onto Melzer. And so LEVIATAN don't know how many players are outside A, even though it's Melzer controlling A, Nags controlling B, and that triple pack with Davies and Kesnit taking the brunt of the map control. This system has really worked well for them, all throughout LCQ.
Dog all leading the charge. Davies, you're in the jump spot. Pings it out for his team. Mid control taken as well.
Melzer deliberately getting flashed again. And now he moves away from A main. This looks like it's going to end in a B split, but remember, Shy just got confirmation that there were people outside A main. So he's got to stay towards A. And now Lev have 3 players over there.
And here it is, a face by King looking for information, but he will fall stacked up against him. 1 player left standing, Mazzino. But that's a read, isn't it? Nags it. Blaming that kill. Mazzino at the off angle, they needed to get value there, playing around the smokes, but another 2-player disadvantage for Lev.
Planted.
And again, forced to make the difficult task, difficult decision. Maybe not for them, but to save. We know they're prone to it.
They definitely are. Yeah, I mean, even the audience knows what's going on at this point, right? LEVIATAN with another one of their save rounds.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of talk about this. It's one of the ways in which LEVIATAN demonstrate their discipline. They want to keep rifles up at all times, make sure that they have a decent buy heading into the next. But they're not one of the teams that tends to convert at a high rate on eco rounds, even when they have, you know, a few rifles in there. And Kesnit's found one of them. So now only 2 Vandals looking to be brought into the next. And while all of this is going on, Crew's economy grows bigger and bigger. These players are all going to get the 3K, they've got the plant bonus, any kill bonuses as well added on the end. The economy already looking like it's going to be flourishing.
Yeah.
And we're only into round 4.
Bank is booming. They're giving out loans at this rate.
And it puts so much stress on LEVIATAN and their defense side.
We talk about form with these teams. It is an important talking point as well on the other side of things. Lev have come into their own with a lot of their individual players. Haven't seen too much evidence of that so far with this series, but players like Taco finding newfounded confidence that wasn't there in the regular season.
And I think that's an important point. We haven't seen it yet, and I think they probably need those players to get online early in the series to get that confidence going and feeling like they're warm once they get into later maps. And this is a winnable map for either team straight off the bat. This isn't one that's supposed to be one-sided one way or another. Lev or Crew both have their chances to win on split, although obviously Crew in the driver's seat at the moment.
I like this decision making. It's deep B main control. Giving over to Mazzino. As long as he holds that space, he's going to be granting them a lot of information. Lev can push players into other directions as well. Shore up the defenses towards mid, towards A. You know that space is locked up. Trailblazer needs to be dealt with. It is. Nobody was following up behind it.
There's a bit of danger in B main though here. We've got a judge on Mazzino, and usually Melzer is going to try and take that space on his own. Remember? 1-3-1. That's the idea for Crew.
There.
So if Mazzino just holds his ground, there is a big chance that Melzer is dropped with the spike.
Recall smoke. That's King, relieving that pressure as well. Right from behind, a bit of a backstab attempt. Mazzino's still there. The judge does not do the work, doesn't take out the opposition.
What an incredibly important fight that could have been the whole round for Crew.
Taking B main control, but still, it looks like Crew want nothing to do with it. Again, that fluidity on display. They force the rotations out all the way through spawn. There's only 1 player really anchoring, and they can hear the footsteps. Davies, does he win this fight out? King! How's he managing that? Traded, though. Isn't it behind him? Took him out. Not even sure if that was intended. Shy onto the corner. Has to try and get one. Time running so damn short, but he falls. Could have been everything if he stopped it, but the spike doesn't look like there's a chance that it's going to be denied. Melzer's there. Getting the plant off. Extension towards it. Satchel forward. Nozwa to 1v2, and he's brought down anyway. It's a 3-piece for Davies. 4 rounds in a row now for Crew. They're feeling it.
And so many things going their way. Even despite the best efforts of King, challenging them over in B heaven and then in A heaven as well, being mobile himself around the map. It was this kill, I think, that really changed the tide of things. Mel's is the IGL. Once he gets that, he gets a read in his head of where the layout is of those defensive players and reads this immaculately. Plus the fact that he's in good form himself to be able to grab that kill against a player with a judge is no easy feat. So this has now hurt the LEVIATAN economy. They were able to buy in the prior with only 1 player having a judge, but now down to Stingers.
Yeah, dampening on the economy. Stingers and the Sheriffs. We've seen miraculous stuff occur with those guns in the past, but Lev are going to need it because this is a half that is steadily getting away from them. Wall dropping. Jiggle onto the corner, spam onto it as well. That was Shy just spotted out.
And now Crew ball up with 4 players, trying to avoid getting caught out by any individual on the anti-eco round. And they just leave the rest of the map to Davies with his trip. The trademark broken, he has to worry about B main, but again, it's the rest of Crew just all together, trying to feel out for whether or not there's a stack on A.
Yeah. That's a goal. Taking a time with it though. Getting down to the 50-second mark. Don't actually have control of middle B main. Still making this rotation through.
They're going to be heading into Taco, who only has a Sheriff in hand. And going to be asked to do so much.
Well, what can he achieve?
Little fakes with the snake bite. Nice lineups from Nags. He's going to make it feel like it's ending A.
He's in the off angle, misses the shot though. Doesn't land. Showstopper now. Forwards. Taco!
What is
He's
that?
removed him. He's out. He's repositioned. A fox in the pen, straight into the smoke. Mazzino is ripping and tearing right through them with the Sheriffs. They swarmed him.
Thrifty.
And my goodness, just like that. You needed a miracle. You needed something to offset that round advantage. There's one on the board.
Taco delivers with his first 2 kills of the match. How does he get this one? I mean, there's no way he even knows that Kesnit's there.
Yeah,
surely
like pure chance
just
almost.
pre-aiming a head height, hoping that he catches Kesnit on the floor instead of blast packing any higher up. Unbelievable. That is what Lev needed. Taco now has the money to get an op online. The reverse Uno card in terms of the economy.
Yeah, it's twists and turns, isn't it? Can flip just like that. There's an operator on the other side of things as well. It's Davies' attack operator. He's been set up onto that A ramp angle. Might be a brawl waiting to happen here. Viper wall going to be fading soon. That's King holding close to the corner anyway.
And if anyone tries to punish Davies here by wide swinging, Kesnit's ready. He can also do stuff like try and break this Trailblazer.
3 players spotted.
Blinded. Bomb buddy out.
I think Lev are doing a great job here at just challenging crew as they try and fight for map control.
Yeah.
Nobody's really exposed themselves to Davies' sightline, and yet they're still holding them back from being able to take A heaven.
Now, Flash is going to be keeping a lot of the LEV players, again, tethered. That's what you were mentioning earlier, right, Josh, with it tagging onto Melzer.
And look, everybody else has left. It's only Davies there, but they've inserted him, and they're going to explore elsewhere on the map. And Lev still keep 3 players.
Yeah, Nozzle does spot it.
Grenade.
Aid in hand. Felt the pressure. And there we go, straight into ropes. That's King, pounced upon. They removed that position all the way back over to Wei. Ring around the rosies. Never really know where this team's going to land. There's a pull, there's a nade. Shy, close to the corner, him and Taco. Got to do so much more. Towards the back of the site now. Seekers going across. Damage done, I think, straight through the wall as well as a target-rich environment. Close to the corner, no one's cleared. Nozzle at the time is running so damn short. Taco, can he deny it?
Left.
Plant, close to the corner away from him. Nothing to deny this one. Still active into the elbow. They know he's there to double face as Mazzino seeks to gain a bit of information, a better ground. All down to Taco, and Davies has got it watched. Missing the shot on either side. Knives whopped. Oh, it's whiffy.
He pops the knives at that point, Brad.
It's whiffy, man.
I mean, Taco had knives at a much earlier point in that round, and I wondered if he was going to pop them. He had updrafts to work with. He could have gone for a denial onto the spike and maybe tried to make the hero play at that point. But under pressure, feeling like he could have got swarmed at any point, he's stuck holding the angle with the off, and he pulls it out at the end.
Is that not an indicator?
Maybe a bit of the stress getting to him.
Yeah.
Or at least, hey, you could read it the other way, that he has the confidence to win the 1v3. I feel like that's an inopportune time, though, and an ult removed from him, as LEVIATAN take a timeout, and maybe some nerves need to be calmed here.
Oh, yeah. I think that's the case. You know, sometimes you see the best being brought out of teams when their backs are against the wall. Like, you know, I would argue the LEV that we saw in the upper bracket when they got knocked down by KRU the previous time that they matched up, the El Clasico matchup that we've witnessed, we saw almost just a rejuvenated LEVIATAN in the lower bracket. They went on an absolute tear when it came to the form itself as well. But sometimes, you know, when your back is against the wall, it's elimination time. That does bring out the best in teams. But where that falls off a little bit is when you finally reach the grand finals, the finishing point almost, the last hurdle that you have to overcome. It's almost a casual reminder that, oh, wait, it's not a fairy tale. You're actually in the moment. You have to perform here and now.
We've seen that all year with many different teams. I mean, Cloud9 springs to mind as well. Felt like there was a different performance there when they were the underdogs and no one believed in them, and when they became the favorites.
Absolutely.
We'll see whether that has an impact on either of these two teams. BO5's very much, you need to be stable throughout. It's not about peaking in one map. You need to be able to bring consistent performances the whole way through. Shy only has a Stinger here, so a Stinger and a Judge being brought in on the defense side.
Yeah.
As King pops his ult in mid.
And the money is dodgy, but they want to light up some weaponry around these big ults. Hoping that the Viper's Pit will offset the economical disadvantage. B main controller's theirs, though, on the side of KRU. Spot on Mazzino.
They're looking to just post Davies up.
No way.
And that's ridiculous. Klaus just spamming that common angle, catches Mazzino, and Nags looking to control the reaction on the other side.
Goodness me. A flick to the side here. Melza also watching for it, anticipating a push out. When you've got the two-player advantage, again, the pressure is on Lev to perform.
And it becomes so difficult when LEVIATAN lose a player on one side of the map and try and make a play on the opposite side. They know that there's 3 players B main. They're looking to try and push something out towards A. They know there's only 1 player there, but Nags is holding a great defensive angle and hits the shot.
Shy flash deep into A main there. It didn't tag onto anyone. Gave him a bit of false information because the rest of the crew now grouped up towards it with 30 seconds left, but he's made his way back onto the side.
30 seconds left.
Oh, this angle.
So
Orthodox,
exposed.
isn't it? So exposed, but he wins the first fight out.
Spike down A.
And gets away.
Repositions. Tucked into elbow. Can he get any more here to try and offset it? Potentially open towards main. There was 2 players there. Out in the open again. Time is running so damn short. It's 12 seconds. Shy could be an absolute miracle worker. Doesn't win it with a wider face. It's Melza. Trying to get down. King! From long range with the judge. There's got to be some changes after that one. Surely he's hopping around the corner but cannot escape it. The sightlines were set onto him. 6-1. It's the scoreline that we face right now, Josh.
And this is absolute devastation. I mean, every round that LEVIATAN has tried to go for a half-buy or some kind of force, they've just been I mean, what is this? That's absurd. That's not even part of the game plan. They're trying to get Davies posted so that he can work a pick, and Klaus just grabs it anyway.
Yeah.
And that, Bren, is one of the most ridiculous things in terms of how this run has been working for Crew. They've been getting the first kill 68% of the time. I mean, it's probably higher now. It's probably more towards 70% if you're taking these rounds into account.
Wider is the face again, and you're feeling it. It's desperation. It's running its course for Lev here. King, I mean, he feels like he has to make a play with the snake bite pushing forwards, but already too many players have fallen with the stingers in their hands. I mean, it's a weaker bite. Got to go for plays like this, but this is just looking like Crew cementing themselves, Josh, even further.
Yeah, they're gonna... LEVIATAN are gonna try and go for this, but double stingers in hand. Nozra with his ult, but there's no point committing the showstopper.
Guy's contacted.
One
Yeah, I mean,
My ult's
just a tap onto it, hoping he can force the fight towards backside, expecting there to be a player there.
And as Nozra slowly gets squeezed out of this round, Crew are gonna be absolutely in the ascendancy.
Yeah.
First map, all flying. And there were a few questions about whether the break between the upper finals and the grand finals was gonna hurt this team's momentum. So far, not even slightly.
No.
I mean, they are looking
Put the doubts to
dominant.
rest.
One enemy remaining.
You know the wild thing as well about that first kill stat that I was talking about? They almost get 70% of their first kills. Most teams are around 50%, right? During the regular season, they were even worse than that. What's wild is it's not all Kesnet. It's shared kind of evenly across the board by this team. I mean, just now, Klaus is 3-1 in first kills to first deaths.
Yeah,
exactly the same as Kesnet. So these opening duels are happening everywhere.
If you told me the numbers that Klaus is putting up here now compared to the regular season, I mean, I'd assume someone else is playing on his PC because they have just been ridiculous. It's like a different player. But sometimes, this tournament structure, this format, the Crew players have spoken about, how it favors them, the long regular season, playing games out. For a team like Crew, you could argue Lev as well. I mean, it doesn't favor their play style. And especially that momentum that they gained playing match after match after match. I mean, there's no team that's had a harder path all the way here to this grand finals than a team like Crew. They've had to battle all the way from the very beginning.
They had no second chances at the start of LCQ.
Now,
and here, just getting slowed down slightly in mid. 50 seconds left. And if anything has been a bit worrying for Crew in this half so far, it might just be the clock. They've had a lot of plants with about 10 seconds left. And maybe that's something that LEVIATAN can focus on. Not giving first duels easily, playing a rolling retreat.
crossfire setup. Together, it's ramp with him and King. Nozwa, can you do the most here? Well, it's all King, seemingly. It's 3 on the board. Dodges the flash. Magnificent. Melza, last one standing, and an ace denied.
ready.
Much to the disappointment of the crowd, yet finally we see Lev getting online a little bit.
It's got to be more than King, though. It's got to be more than King. He's got 3 times the amount of kills as the next highest player on the scoreboard for LEVIATAN.
Wasn't that the story of the regular season?
Exactly. That's not going to be how LEVIATAN win this series, is with King going nuts. We know that he can do that. He's a phenomenal player. But he needs the rest of his team to also provide rounds like that to keep things competitive. It's a good start, though.
Time to keep this one moving. Again, operator v operator. Davies, it's no piece of it towards main. Steadily taking up that ramp control.
It's a nice teleport that Davies has got set up. It's going to take him all the way back to safety if he gets pressured in sewers. So he can just work picks on his own here. Yeah. And he's not worried about any kind of crunch setup. Chamber's so good for avoiding trap plays. Not that the double duelist comp runs too many of them that LEVIATAN are using. But it's slow and cautious from KRU again.
Now that Davies is here on this angle, just has to dodge the Sky utility coming his way, but he can hold this space well. Main's also being covered by Nagset, who's just behind him.
And you can see that LEV are adapting here, only using their utility later on in the rounds. They know that KRU are going slowly and carefully, so they're using flashes and seekers at 50 seconds.
Hang about, Dash is here. Here's the reload, and he claims the first. Nagset, he will fall. Pull right at his feet, shows stopper, it lands. Kesnet, so consistent with it, but he's got shy there. Back up right behind towards the elbow. Landing the shots, and the Rhino is here, man. Oh my.
Everything left down to Melzer in a 1v3. Playing against his former team, calling the plan for this round gone awry, and he's just got to save.
Yeah.
10 seconds left.
What a performance from Shy there. I mean, and Taco, putting on like an Aspas cosplay, essentially.
Yeah.
It's so good seeing Taco activated, because this player has been in such a slump for such a time. And on both of these teams, you're getting people who have previously given us underperformances, Taco, Klaus, you know, step up and really show what they're capable of. Fight for it. At the end of the year, at the final hour, showing that they're capable of getting their team to champions. Not just competing for the middle of the pack, not just deserving their spot on a roster in partnerships, but actually fighting to get into the tournament that means the most at the end of the year.
It's been a while since we've seen these two teams at any form of international events outside of lock-in.
You want to play? Let's play.
That's what this is for. KRU used to be a staple of almost every single event, but a bit of a gap in terms of that. LEV fighting hard as well to make sure that their season doesn't end in disappointment.
And I feel like one of the big adjustments that LEVIATAN have made is saving their utility for the first kind of 40 seconds of the round. They know that KRU are not going for big 5-person pop hits at the start. So that means you don't need to throw as much early utility. But you've got to make sure that they don't contact into you. And KRU are taking a lot of space and a lot of liberties up in A heaven.
Dangerous. They haven't crossed the threshold, just the open window angle. Shy is out in the open here, so is Nozwa, and they're just wide open. They didn't expect that space to already be granted to the KRU players. Nags is ready for the push. It's fallen to pieces.
I just love the adaptation from both of these teams. LEVIATAN are playing a slower defensive round in response to that. And Melzer calls for them to go contact forwards. Okay, if Shy's not going to use his utility to find out where we are, we're going to walk into him. They're scared of us at this point. They're scared of the Davies op. Especially when he's got his Tour de Force active.
Yeah.
It really is beautiful. The system that KRU's figured out. A combination of Melzer working with the new coach Atom and the time that they've spent. And some of the time off as well.
Oh yeah.
To ponder,
trust me.
to rethink, to make sure you don't get stuck in a rut.
Yeah, some people warm up in aim labs. Kesnet's a GTA role player. That man is loaded it up, trust me. That's how he's getting his warm up in. But if it works, it works. Some rest and relaxation, it's paying off. For a team like KRU, had a hard time of it. It's been a marathon this season.
Final round of the half. And apart from a brief showing from LEVIATAN, KRU have completely been in control. LEV are going to try and mix things up now with Taco walking down mid. The operator, in theory, should be able to find these players, potentially, like Melzer and Nags.
The contacting, yeah.
But they normally hold very safe positions, Brent.
Yeah.
While the rest of the team is doing their job. Oh, and Taco oversteps himself and gets punished. That's the worry.
Falls down, Nozwa, satchels up in the air, flashed up, blinded up. He cannot move a muscle. He's brought down. The ult completely negated. That's a -8. With a minute left in the round.
Oh!
That is precise.
What a shot!
It leaves it up to 2 for Lev. Final round of this half, but all but locked up now for KRU. Should be the 9-3.
And if they win this round, every single round the KRU have got the first blood, they've managed to convert. 100% 5v4 rate.
And no more worries about the operator. Contacting to be heaven. Zeno. Up and down control, but he's just one man with a Guardian. What can he do? He's feeling it. There's
30
one.
seconds left.
Good shot to be found. Smoke propped up, finds himself the upgrade of the rifle, but the plant's going to go down. Nevertheless, does get the Cosmic Divide online. Maybe he can do something with it.
I've got your trail.
Another star planted, but here's the Seekers to spot out where his last 2 players are. Aimed it down. It's a deeper smoke. It does give him a lot of exit opportunities, but spamming through the Vandal is risky. Giving it away out in the open. Satchel at his feet. Shy is dealt with all down to Mazzino, and he cannot withstand it. 9-3 is the scoreline we look at.
What an incredibly well-played half by KRU. I'm just amazed at the difference in tempos, the way that they run this 1-3-1 kind of setup, and how good they are at neutralizing defensive aggression from every team. Melza is calling a masterful game to knock his former team out potentially here if he can keep it going and get his new squad to champs.
It is a masterclass in terms of the calling so far for that first half. Let's send it down as well. We took a listen in to King and what he thought about this El Clasico matchup ahead of it.
Sí, bueno, esa serie fue un poco especial, por así decirlo, porque totalmente no teníamos la misma garra con la que entramos ya en el lower bracket. Creo que cometimos un error, que fue dejarnos que nos cayera la presión, de pensar, de ver comentarios de que todos decían que íbamos a volver más fuertes. Y nada, fue un poco la misma presión que sentimos durante toda la Liga de las Américas. Y nada, después cuando ya nos queda la última chance, nos miramos a los ojos, dijimos que ya no había... realmente era la última chance y estamos sacando el juego que realmente hacemos siempre en las prácticas.
He's just talking and touching on that do or die mentality, you know, when you're pushed and shoved against the wall when it comes to that scenario where this is your entire season on the line. LCQ, there's no second chances. It's everything. It's what it culminates down to. And who knows what's going to happen after this?
It seems like LEVIATAN need their backs up against the wall to perform. Pulled off a reverse sweep in a BO5 to eliminate Cloud9 and get to this point. You don't get any more backs up against the wall than that.
No. That's performing under pressure and more.
I mean, they're also down 9-3 on Haven and managed to pull back. But you can't do that every time. You can't always let yourself slip at the first hurdle in the series and battle back. Love the grammar from me.
Yeah. And this match, you know, it's been dubbed the El Clasico for good reason. I mean, how many times have these two teams placed off for that title?
Me when I'm English and say the El Clasico.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the classic match, of course.
Of course. I mean, this is going to be extremely tough for LEVIATAN. They were able to pull back a 9-3 on Haven versus Cloud9. But also, we've seen this before.
We have seen this before, yeah.
I mean, on Split, 9-3 as well. LEVIATAN have literally been in the exact same spot before, during that match in LCQ when they played against each other. But now they need to turn it around. Now it has to be a different result. And Nozwa, the player that has been so fantastic for them on Split and had a breakout performance playing the Rays on this map, going missing here, not able to find the value on the defense side, which should be his best. This is going to be very tough. And we're only at map 1.
This is crazy. 4 players grouped up, seeing if they can get a cheeky kill. Nozwa spots it, gets out. Luckily with his life. There's a response. It's instantaneous here from Lev. Shy out in the open. There was no real coverage there, but under smoke. And Davies does reposition with the rendezvous. 10 health, though.
They know where Davies is as well. They know exactly where that teleport went to. He needs help from Klaus.
Deep flash. It's good. Davies dodges it and still lands the kill. Heal not online fast enough. The nade will clean him up and finish him off. Shy just poking and prodding towards the side here. Nozwa still containing and holding, but he does get traded and brought down. King is close to the corner to one and done angle to fight also waiting to be taken here. Mazino. For the right chance of this backstab. Nade is there. King close again to the corner. It's finally called out, but he's already claimed 2, and there's Mazino. Final line of defense. Ready to strike when his team needed it. So, pistol round for Lev. Maybe the start of something. A string of rounds, potentially.
That's exactly what they need to get this started. There's no other option for them if they want to be able to win here on Split. And that's going to show you a bit of the different tempo that these teams are playing at. KRU went for a 4-person push down mid, and that's going to force a reaction.
Get me there.
They think they've already won. I mean,
Yeah, that looks like A5, I'm telling you.
why are we here?
Exactly, man. Pop it off. I love it.
I mean, this is a day for the LATAM fans. It really is. You can't lose. You really can't if you're
Cheering for one team or the other, but yeah, the region as a whole is going to be winning. Well, here it is. Striking back. There. Oh, what? With the shorty getting away with that. Nagset claiming too close to the corner. This is suddenly in much more than danger. This is looking almost lost. The spike out in the open. 2 players left standing. That economical advantage, it's gone to pot.
And the spike being down is a massive problem. I mean, Mazino is so far away, just assuming that his team are not going to run into Nag's double shorty kills.
Yeah.
Nagset in the corner, just being able to
Caution
pull those
here.
both out is spectacular for his team. How do they recover this? They have stars that they can put up. That's going to deny vision, but KRU are going to spam. No damage done just yet.
No one even walking into that direction. Instead,
Look at Melza watching behind him, worried that they
30
could have got
seconds
all
left.
the way behind to screens already.
realizing they could have got out of there, but he didn't pick up the spike.
There's 20 seconds left. This
Spike
extraction process has got to be moved a little faster.
Yeah, no opportunities to pivot over to B. It has to land onto A for any chance to win the round here. Close, close. Kessler is out in the open. And here it is, time. Playing its part. 12 seconds left. Close to the corner. It's a 1v1. Oh no. Nozwa has the spike, sticking it down here. Melza, does he choose to take the time with it? It's planted. Damage done. Only 78. Will be around the corner with the right clicks. That's the finisher. Gotta be joking.
It's not the cleanest round of Valorant I've ever seen in my life. But that's incredible for KRU.
Try harder now.
It will do.
The decision from Melza is really nice there. He knows that there's a big decision process for his opponent to either get the plant down or to challenge him. He waits until he hears the spike sound planted, but then, oh, the classic right click almost betrayed him.
Yeah, I mean, that is... You're leaving it up to a coin flip.
But look
You
at
hop
the
around the corner
reaction.
with the right clicks. You really are, but yeah, they're loving it. They're thrifty. They answered it right back.
And when there seemed like there was hope for Lev, oh, dashed in a moment.
The wind taking it right out of their sails. Desperation on display there. Taka hoping to deep dash, maybe take some space towards A, but he's brought down so early. Not ideal. Yes, it's a half buy, but at this point, every single round, every single moment counts.
Right there.
And KRU do tend to be quite bunched up in terms of how they defend. I mean, you watch them on the map, and they're looking to try and get active with 2 or 3 of them, going for pushes or reclears. They're not happy just holding these static positions, and I think their idea is pretty excellent. They keep putting pressure on teams. Like that. Mazino ends up walking into them. KRU looking to get up to 11.
I think it's smart. Group up as well when you're up against a half fight. There's no danger of getting overwhelmed, a singular player giving over a weapon. Giving up that A-heaven control. It's a mad scramble, isn't it, on the left side. Hunting for an open angle, an open shot, but 30 seconds left. Which way is this landing? You don't want to be saving these guns.
30
And what
seconds
must be
left.
running through the heads of the players that are just dead right now and having to think and ponder the fact that they're down 4-10. I mean, a 6-round deficit on the opening map, not the way that LEVIATAN would have wanted to open this. So difficult for them to even come back into this.
Spike down mid.
It's a trade-off, but a cleanup.
And you've got to wonder if that kind of mentality is they just have to sit there in these slightly slower rounds, stewing on the fact that they're down to their rivals from LATAM, a team that they've been better than for the last year at least. You got to wonder if that's going to impact them heading later. Lev have got to be able to brush this off unless they're able to mount a comeback. Because Pearl used to be at the top of Leviatan's map pool, but Crew have looked amazing at it recently.
It's the benefit you get when you go through that uppers. The double ban, moving Fracture and Haven. The second map, you know, the second map ban, a bit of a toss-up when it comes to what Crew would want to remove, but I think Haven's a decent one.
And while you would, as a competitor, want to just focus on the here and now and make sure you get this round, there's that little pressure in the back of your head as you realize the score at the top of the screen.
Oh, yeah. Dash forwards. That's deep into heaven.
With a judge. I like
the judge, yep. Seen this play before, but no util to his name. That's the money running dry. He's already used his one smoke. How does he get in there? Showstopper, Nozwa, can he pave the way? Can he clear out a bit of a space and an opening? Davies, you are mad to take that fight, but he does bring him down. Just the 1-for-1. Taco close to the corner. Dog doesn't clear it. Klaus, oh, he's wide open. Wide open, and there's the kill. Surely running right into him. Kesnit, he's claiming it. It's carnage. In the final moments here. 3 versus 3, winnable still. Having control. Still theirs for Crew. Lever all playing, tucked towards side. Series of these close angles and one of them positions. Down towards it, nags it. He wins it out in the open, vulnerable. Forced to try and trade and take matters into his own hands. It's up to Shy. 1v1, time running short. Does Melzer have it?
Not quite.
I don't think so.
It's close, but I don't think he's got it.
Damage done, but not the defuse. Barely missing out on that. Squeaking by.
And a lifeline for Lev. They're going to still be able to buy in the next round. It's a Red Bull clutch. Davies is actually right inside his rendezvous there, looking to try and fight the showstopper and still get away. Doesn't quite manage it.
I thought he was out of range of it. He didn't have his little gold vest on.
I think he just stepped out of range of it to fight the showstopper and take a more aggressive angle. But you know, the concept is there. Unfortunate though, millisecond timings.
Yeah, barely. Will this be a turning point?
Oh, Taco is so deep inside the pit.
That's a dash inside to see if he can punish. He was pre-maiming towards Mail, actually, expecting the pit to be offloaded from that position. King, he's already vacuumed it up. Pushing forwards now. Showstopper all the way through. Kesnit spots it and nails it. The Rockets, the consistency. This is looking like 12. Crew, just like that. That's from back of a round of their own.
Awesome movement from Kesnit there too. Using the blast back of the rocket to push himself away from King and around the corner so he couldn't get punished.
I'd love to see if anyone is tracking as well the stats on this. It feels like Kesnit gets a kill every time.
Every time he uses the showstopper.
Yeah, every single time.
He's got to be the most efficient raise that I've seen with it in this tournament. But you've got to remember too that this is Kesnit's best tournament run ever. Yeah. We've seen amazing star-level performances from Kesnit since he first came onto the scene. And yet this is still him performing at his peak.
Blocking vision.
That is quite ridiculous.
Right there.
And it's been one of the big reasons why they're able to power themselves forwards here. You heard Valen and Sean talk about how much of a weight that just lifts off the rest of the team.
Yeah.
30 seconds left.
And it helps them play better as well, I think. You know, as I said, it's not like Kesnit's getting all of the first kills. He kind of is here on Split. He's got at least 5, I think.
Again, another
6 or 7 maybe.
To save here, Josh. I mean,
yeah, it's tragic. I mean, Leviatan are playing for the draw at this point. I wonder what this ends up doing to the mentality, but this is how they play. This is how they've practiced. And these are the kind of decisions they go for.
Don't blame them to a degree with it, but you got to keep these guns as well if you're going to make this decision. If you're not going to make a go of the round, you've handed it over. There's a 12 for Crew. Almost anticlimactic in the way that one goes. Will they keep the gun? Shy. He stays alive.
Very close. Doesn't really help them too much. And a timeout called for Leviatan. Look at that movement, though. Using the recoil of the showstopper to push himself back around the corner and ensure that King is given only the slimmest of timings to trade that.
Yeah, we've been treated some premium Raze gameplay over the course of LCQ. Some of the movement has been pulled out. It's been nothing short of incredible. Like prime Bunny.
Yeah.
Going around, man.
I mean, I think, you know, people are looking at Durka being able to win Masters Tokyo playing just all the Raze and thinking, well, what's to stop us from doing the same?
Not?
If you've got a great Raze player like Kesnit on your team, somebody that can play other duelists as well, but has a specialty there, added into the compositions. I mean, Kesnit was playing Raze on Haven too, which is actually a map that they decided to get rid of in this map veto. Would have still been a decent one,
yeah.
But that's the thing.
That's the weird thing about these two teams with the maps is because I really think that it could go either way on a lot of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's only one map where it was obvious Crew wanted to get rid of it, which was Fracture.
Yeah.
And then they kind of had their pick of which other ones they wanted to go towards. And it's difficult when you're in LCQ because the sample size is so small from what you've seen from your opponent and how good they looked. And were they playing against a team that was great, or was the team they were playing against bad? It's very difficult to evaluate that.
You just don't know the improvements teams have made over a month and a half.
And I'm going to be honest with you, I thought we were going to come into map 1 and have a really competitive map between these two teams. And it go down to the wire because I thought Lev looked explosive with Taco and Nozwa playing up towards their best. This double duelist duo has not been able to get active at all. And that is full credit to Crew. They've just shut it down utterly.
Everything on the line now. Look at the investment. Of course, you have to buy up around it. One round stands between it. Melza spamming down. Damage done, certainly. And here it is. Pull at their feet. Nade as well. It's all collapsed upon. Into the choke point you go. You do not stand a chance. Cosmic Divide. It's a bit of respite. Away from all this damage. Maybe you can get the 3-1 for them. It looks like they want to try and attempt to try and fight through. They were gearing up for it. You can see Shy was holding a flash, I think, for maybe a pop flash play through the Cosmic Divider, but they had to give up chances for it, and the weapons are still not good. 2 rifles. Plant only just going down close to the corner. King's got the pit online. Can it help? Pushing forwards now. It's Crew trying to take space in it, but this is an observer's worst nightmare. Walls and smokes and pits in the way. Everything is obfuscated. Faced up, though.
Look how close and tight the Crew players are together, trying to trade each other out inside the pit.
Fully blinded up, Shy. Can't see anything, doesn't know what timing to be taken. That's Kesnet bringing him down, and 2 standing. It's here. King with the Bucky. He's traded. It's spraying. It's random. It's a prey. There'll be no blessings on the other side of that one. Not for LEVIATAN. Crew winning map number 1 here.
And in absolutely dominant fashion. Crew showcasing that their map pick to start things off of Split is one where they are utterly in control. Playing to their strengths as being a team that neutralizes defensive aggression and has excellent ways of being able to take map control. The combination of the Sky and the Rays, with Davies to be able to take first contact and teleport away if any danger occurs. It plays to their strengths immaculately. And I just keep thinking about what Valen said, you know, take their permaban as map 3, just in case you win the first 2 cleanly. And with how good Crew look here, and how little we saw out of LEVIATAN in terms of specific